Everybody doing
Pictures. I'll do a couple of the cats too. So
Ew, you also look great.
all right, so of course this is our hearts, okay, and then so this teeny tiny little part of the aorta would be the ascending aorta, right under here. Under
The aortic
my,
trunk is probably under here.
well, we just call it the aorta, the ascending aorta. I think. Do they call it an aortic trunk? Is that a term? I've never heard that.
Brachiocephalic.
Yeah, we never use trunk for the
No, it's
aorta.
pulmonary trunk.
Pulmonary trunk we use. Okay, so this is technically just the ascending aorta. Aortic arch, that makes an arch. Okay, now, but what comes off of the arch here, okay, all of that's the arch. So in the cat, there's two big branches, which should be right here. So what is this?
The left subclavian.
Left subclavian. Let's follow that to what would it be called in here somewhere?
Axillary. Axillary.
Yeah. So this is axillary in here somewhere. It looks like it kind of broke off, but that's okay. So this should be axillary in here. But see this, that's something, that's a branch off of there. This should be the brachial here. Okay, this bigger one here. Okay, all right, so coming back over here.
Where was the subclavian? Sorry.
This is the left subclavian. The
Okay,
left
perfect.
subclavian is much longer than the right subclavian. So what is this big thing?
Brachiocephalic.
Trunk. So we do use trunk there. And then on the cat we have two branches of what is this?
Right common carotid.
And
This
this
is the left
yeah,
that goes up here.
that's correct. And then over
so that's
here,
Right subclavian.
right subclavian, and then it looks like we pulled some of the like sheath or connective tissue around the artery off. Or you know what this could just be? It's just pure latex mixed with some blood cells. So we've actually the vessel is this stuff around it, you know, because vessels are tubes. So here we broke it off a little bit, but it would have been the same thing. So what would have been in the armpit area?
Axillary.
Axillary, and if we're down here, it's got to be brachial. Okay, so
Brachial.
that's the extent of what I would ask you probably. Okay, whatever's on your list. Okay, so now this is descending aorta, and so what do we call it in this first area? Thoracic. Okay, and goes through this diaphragm, and then we can come back through here. Okay, and so this is now the abdominal descending aorta.
That's the celiac.
But
right
this
there.
first branch past the diaphragm is called celiac.
That's the celiac. Okay.
Yeah, now you don't necessarily have had to dissect them all out, but there's three major branches that you should know coming from the celiac.
Gastric, splenic, and left. Common hepatic.
And that is common hepatic, and yes, it goes to proper, but I just have you know hepatic arteries come from here.
Okay.
So hepatic, splenic, and
gastric.
gastric.
Because think about
Spleen, stomach, and
those three major organs are up here in this upper abdominal area. You've got liver, spleen, stomach. Okay, so from this very first branch, we have those three major organ
So,
branches.
for instance, on the practical, you can say what you're not going to actually point it, but you might say this
Yeah.
and what branches come off. of the
Yeah, I
celiac.
could say this could be pinned number 15, and I could ask you what three branches come, or name at least one branch that comes from here. You know?
just out of curiosity, asking a question. When you do that, are you gonna like show us other vessels so we can know that okay, this is the first one and not technically the second one? Like you know how there's the second vessel underneath.
I should have everything dissected out so that you can identify.
see. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
and see, and I would hopefully find a cat that's not as green as this, because you can see that it's going towards the stomach and the liver and the spleen.
The spleen's over here, right?
The spleen,
Is this it?
Yes,
Okay,
that's
okay,
the
I just want to
spleen.
make sure. That's
And
what
this
it
is the pancreas.
That's the pancreas.
Okay, perfect.
Did you find the thyroid up here?
Which is right here. This right here.
Some of this is muscle, but yeah, that's probably thyroid. It's just this
What is-
tissue starts looking all the same. That's muscle.
Okay, so that's probably.
The thyroid's gonna be right up against the trachea.
So
And
it's in
look,
the front of
it
it?
even shows you where it was supposed to be, right? Those little bulbs in it, because it's on the other side too.
Yeah, those are both
Do
thyroid.
we
Yeah.
know?
That's all thyroid.
What about the left and right external?
Jugular.
No, carotid. Because jugular is vein.
Yeah.
Left and right external carotid. Because it's like, isn't it way further up?
Yeah, that's on our
For the
list.
cat.
Yeah, it's on the list.
For cat?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
external carotid?
Yeah.
Internal is not on cat, the external is.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do we find it? Because we were trying to find it.
You should only know the internal carotid
Okay.
artery.
The internal?
The-
You mean the common?
The common?
I mean the common, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, so don't
Worry about the external?
Common carotid.
That's
Okay.
right. What is on your list for starred items?
External.
External carotid
Left
artery.
and right.
Left and right
Really?
external. Yes.
Sure, it's not jugular.
Positive.
Well, the jugular is on the vein. Yeah, the jugular we do have,
But
but
also in the arteries.
as far as arteries, it's external carotid artery.
Really? I must have made a mistake because you really just need to know this common.
That's fine.
good.
We're
But
not
yes,
complaining.
there is an internal and external, but I don't want to worry about it.
Can we really quick just go back down here?
Yes,
so we
let's-
were.
yeah,
Thank you
okay.
so much. Okay,
So this again was the celiac, and then the
branches
next
off.
major branch, which we've broken here, superior mesenteric, and you can actually see. Okay, these are all small intestines. So look, this is going towards the small intestine. If we kind of look through
This is
here.
the small, the thicker looking ones are small.
Well, thicker than what?
The big one's just
Because
a
the
short.
big one is bigger. This is your large colon. So you're gonna study this
Saw
stuff
that on ours
later.
too. Our small intestine's just huge.
They're much longer. They're much
Which one?
longer than the large intestine.
That's why I was like, that looks so short. I didn't even think that was the intestine.
I think ours just has so much fat in it that it looks
But one thing you're gonna learn, guys, is see this was all like this. The large intestine actually comes up and over and then back down, and then there's all these small intestines in between. But for now, if you can at least know that this is a superior mesenteric artery, and it does appear to be going to this small intestinal area.
Where's the inferior one?
That looks like an adrenal
We don't have
gland
to know
right
that.
there.
Oh, we don't have to know inferior. Sweet.
Is that what that is?
There's all kinds of fatty stuff in here, but see, this looks like an adrenal gland.
Oh, I never would have.
Because it's very weird in the cat. They're
It didn't
not
sit
right
on the kidneys.
top of
I
the
knew you said
kidney.
they were medial, but we moved
Yeah.
everything around in there so much.
That's what that is, I think. Yeah.
Dr. Logan, what is this fat stuff called again?
Okay, so overall, you have stuff called omentum, and this is all omentum. They call this the greater omentum because it comes from the greater curvature, and then the lesser omentum comes from the lesser curvature of the stomach. But it's a bunch of areolar connective tissue plus fat. Now, that turns into what we call mesentery. The mesentery is this stuff in between all these intestines.
why it's the superior mesenteric vein artery.
So
Yeah.
you don't have to know this. It's just this kind of.
No, it's just a general knowledge that yes, this is what we would call omentum, and it's very similar in function of the mesentery. It's all the same kind of tissue, it's just different locations. But what it does is help to cushion and pack organs because it's mostly areolar connective tissue, but plus some fat.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but when one of the tools that had been put back, it was coming out, protruding, and it stabbed me. And I'm just worried that
Oh, no.
that cat, like how worried do I need to be? Should I go to an ER? Because
Where was
filled
it?
with bacteria.
Where was it coming out of?
It was just sticking, it was like,
Oh no.
I'm trying to squeeze blood so that...
Run it under cold water.
There's alcohol wipes too.
Well, I watched that show, The Monster Inside Me, and it's like...
Oh gosh, you need to stop. Those makes me freak out.
That cat's diseased. Look at it.
Well, I'll tell you. I may have to call my department chair. I don't know exactly what I might have to do, but I know I've been poked by things and I've not been sick.
Still,
But let's
dangerous. You never know.
For the cat, yeah.
Yeah, you just never know.